I think it's pretty safe to say that by far, one of the biggest mysterious parts of the Skywalker saga, specifically within the sequel trilogy, has all to do with Rey's origins, her lineage, and exactly where she comes from in these stories, such as Episode 7, 8, and now that's what's going to be answered in Episode 9 by J.J. Abrams. This is Mike Zero. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, one aspect of Episode 9 that a lot of people, including myself, am very much interested in is, of course, the character of Rey and her past, and exactly how that's really going to take a big effect on both The Last Jedi and The Force Awakens. Now, there may also be a lot of you guys out there that are asking yourselves, why is Rey's lineage even so interesting? A lot of people would disagree that it's even an interesting aspect of the sequel trilogy, and everybody's open to their own opinion, which is fine and okay and all, but to me, in my point of view, I think that there is something very interesting about it, because we do know that there is more to the story that's going to actually have a big effect on the sequels, the originals, and even the prequels. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we've been learning a whole lot more about this film, and when it all comes down to one of the set leaks, this is where things begin to get very intriguing about George Lucas and his involvement in Episode 9, as well as J.J. Abrams. Now, specifically, what's really intriguing is that it's described that during rewrites of the film for the months of November and December of 2018 is when Disney, Lucasfilm, JJ, and crew decided to involve George Lucas in some of the decisions of the story that would conclude the Skywalker saga. It said that during the rewrites, Rey's parents were significantly changed, and that George Lucas developed an idea of whose Rey's parents would be to JJ Abrams and Chris Terrio. It said that George played a large role in the shift of Rey's parents and Rey's lineage in order to better the story that would create a ripple effect in the Star Wars films in a satisfying way. Additionally, it's described that the change was made after the original plan of Rey's parents didn't fit the rewrites of the second and third acts of the film, and that it was needed to be changed, and that when George suggested this change as a specific change to the character of Rey and her parents, and how they would be utilized and told in the story, as well as their identities, and that the reveal of Rey's parents were shifted to different parts of the film in the new script. So I want to go over a couple of parts about this and as to why this is making me more confident in, of course, the rise of Skywalker. Now, there are going to be two types of Star Wars fans here, and that's perfectly fine. Everybody's open to their opinion. There are people out there that think it's a terrible idea to bring George Lucas on board, and that, it's a mistake in order to include him in The Rise of Skywalker because of how the prequels were actually portrayed by him. And then you have the other side that are very much excited about George and are very happy and welcome to have him back on board for Episode 9 to a certain extent. Now, yes, he's not a full director, yes, he's not a full writer for this movie, but he did play a role in a lot of the changes during the rewrites of the script during November and December of just last year. Now, to me, guys, I'm the type of person that would say I'm very excited about George Lucas being involved in Episode 9. I'm actually one of the fans that actually loves the prequels. Did Episodes 1 and 2 have a lot of issues in my point of view? Yes, but it did have its moments, like, of course, Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan versing Maul. And of course, in Episode 2, we had Anakin and Obi-Wan going up against Dooku. Like I say, Episodes 1 and 2, it shows. There are moments within there that actually stood out. So George Lucas actually changing Rey's parents and how he changed Rey's parents during the rewrites of the script during those months of last year, it really does tell us that, he's really trying to do something very special for the character of Rey, and how J.J. Abrams really took a lot of advice from George and took a lot of his ideas that were suggested for the story during the rewrites. Now, the major reason for this change is because the rewrites actually had a massive effect on the storytelling of the second and third acts of the movie, and that the Rey's parents and her lineage that was actually being used in the original script just did not fit the new story by JJ. In case you guys did not know this, there were a lot of changes by J.J. Abrams, during those months. Even John Boyega confirmed this over at Star Wars Celebration. And I think that when we think about Episode 9, the fact that they're really trying to make this movie the best that it can really be, you can really see that they are trying to satisfy all the Star Wars fans around the world. Now, this change of Rey's parents by George Lucas is said to have a ripple effect on the entire Skywalker saga. all the way from the prequels to the originals and beyond, right? So this tells us that Rey's parents could very well be connected to somebody that we already know of, or they could very well be unknown characters like we have been going over for these past couple of months now, that are going to be connected to some of the legacy characters like Palpatine and Luke, as we have been going over in some and many of the leaks out there. So what I like about George, though, guys, like I say, is that he is very, I guess you could say, passionate about Star Wars. That's the only thing about Disney and Lucasfilm right now, is that there seems to be a little bit of a trust issue within, themselves and, of course, the fans, I should say, going up against Disney and Lucasfilm. There is a big trust issue there. And I think that a lot of fans are just hoping that the final film of the sequel trilogy is going to be able to pull it all off by JJ and George Lucas and his involvement in this movie. Anyways, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night to morning.